haven't talked to him since probably 2021. I went back and looked, and it was because there was another film project that someone wanted to interview him. It was a project that Bobby Razek was working on, and uh, and so I reached out to him, and we had a nice conversation. He was asking about my health. I had some health issues in 2018. Um, but yeah, the first time I met him, it was, he was pitching the Bellator tournament, and he was pitching the 12 weeks. We got the season format. It's going to be $150,000 tournament in the weight classes, and it was going to be in Spanish, and he needed help finding talent. He really wanted Roger Huerta at the time. He really, obviously he wanted Eddie Alvarez. There was guys on his mind that he really wanted, and he had tasked us to find other talent that could fill in the spots. He'd already, like I said, he'd already secured Eddie through Monty Cox, and Monty had some guys from the Midwest that he was representing as well. But they needed full seasons, and he needed talent, and he needed as high level of talent as he could find. But I mean, he was notoriously, intense as an individual. But when you're around the fight game long enough, I say it to everybody, like every promoter's the same. Um, there really is like I think like a personality that you have to have that kind of dream, and then like try and make it work. You're really at sometimes fitting a square peg into a round hole, and they're just, finding a way to do it. And Bjorn is definitely that guy. Um, I don't have anything bad to say. I know some people
Yeah.
had difficult time working for him, but we had our differences a couple times, but we always kind of like were able to talk things through, and we had mutual respect for each other, so it wasn't a problem.
But I mean, what was the circumstance? Who introduced you to him? Do you remember where it was, or?
So actually, it was because at the time we had a company in Southern California called NCFC Fight Management, and we were
Oh yeah, I
managing.
remember that.
Uh, yeah, we were managing, Brandon Vera and Dominic Cruz and all of Tompkins's guys, and Dan Henderson we represented for a while. So we had all these guys, and he basically reached out because he was really interested in Roger, who was still signed to the UFC at the time. He was just it was that one like long break before his last fight with the UFC. He was dealing with some injuries, and he had some contract issues.